Hey, I'm glad you're here. Let's dive into another episode of the Coach B Experience. Hey, what's up, brother? Welcome to today's episode. We're going to be talking about not asking for help and putting your ego and pride aside. One of the biggest things I've noticed, and I think you probably noticed in your life too, is that asking for help as a man, that's something that we just don't do. And we don't want to do because we've been bred from a young age that men are supposed to do things alone, right? You're a warrior, you're a king, and all decisions fall on your head. And as you grow up, you're going to have a family. And in the same sense, you have to be able to handle all the BS and suppress all those emotions and feelings that you have. And asking for help is a feminine quality that you should not have. And they try to kill us. They try to kill it into us even when we're young. And I see it now happening nowadays too as well. I bet you see it yourself too. Do you see when a little boy cries and they're like, oh, stop crying, stop being a girl, stop doing that. Men don't do that. And we are talking to little boys. I think you've seen that too, that little boys can't even be boys because we don't even allow them to cry. We don't even allow them to express their emotions because we believe that's a feminine quality to have. So in the same sense, for you probably have so much suppressed emotions. You probably have an ego or pride when it comes to expressing emotions. And even the biggest thing, not even that, just asking for help. Right? Saying it's okay. Because yesterday I was talking with a potential client and he was telling me that, hey, I need to figure out what I'm passionate about. And I told him, I was like, look, I told him straight up and I told him, hey, this is free, but just stop finding out what you're passionate about because passions are going to change. You need to find out what the vision you have for your life is. What is the end result that you want to get to? And then establish what is your mission too. What is it that you're so committed to that you have to do before you leave this earth? Why did God even put you here? That's your mission. And then the vision is what you have for your life. It's what you see, looking long term. And then he was like, oh, that sounds great. I said, hey, you want some help with that? He was like, nah, I have to do it myself. I said, what? I said, you've been doing it yourself for so long. You've been stuck in this pattern for so long, but you still want to keep doing it yourself? He said, yes, that's going to make me more of a man. And that's going to help me more. And I said, what? And I let it go because I understood what he was saying. I understood the place that he was in and that asking for help for him meant that his manhood was going to go down. Now, of course, I did talk to him and I told him that asking for help is okay and that it helps you to get where you want to go faster. And that there's a difference between asking for help and being a deterrent of your own self. So in a sense, when you ask for help, like, hey, could you help me lift this box? Great. Hey, could you do all this work for me and I not do anything myself? See, that's somebody that you don't want to help. That's somebody that they're not even willing to go ahead and put the effort to help themselves. But someone that has already been helping themselves, gladly, surely you got to help them. So for you, suffering in silence right now is not only hurting you. Your ability to not want to ask for help, it's killing not only you, but the people around you. Because you believe that if you raise your hand and you ask for help, somehow your manhood, your identity as a man is going to get killed. You see, being in silence is not only killing you, but everyone around you. And yet again, I was speaking with another male friend of mine and he said, I need to figure out what I need to do with my life. I even asked, I said, let's do it together. Let's do it together. Excuse me. Sometimes I mumble on my words, right? So he insisted he had to do it alone and prove it to himself. Like the answer was going to hit him out of nowhere. Like great questions lead to results that you want, right? Leads to the answers that you're looking for. Yes, the vision and the mission, God has put that within you, but some things you need people around you. And as men, not being able to ask for help, oh man, it's such a deterrent. And I want to share with you a great story from one of the greatest books in the world is the Bible. And it's where Jesus and a few of his disciples actually go up to a mountaintop and Jesus transforms before them into his glory and honor. And he has it's so bright that the disciples can't even see him, right? But they notice that he's there and he's with actually 3 other people. And the clouds open up, God's talking, and they're talking to God, and Elijah's there, and Moses. If you know the books of the Bible, then these are like great men within the Bible. Moses actually led a whole bunch of people through the wilderness for 40 years, and God offered them this promised land too as well, but he didn't get to go see it because he didn't listen to God. And then Elijah was another great prophet of God, and he actually went against thousands of false prophets, so people that weren't worshiping God, and he literally beat them in a play of battle. So it was pretty dope. However, in this certain particular scene is Jesus goes up to his mountaintop with his disciples. Is he transforms before them, and he starts speaking to Elijah and Moses, and then. But I want you to think about this, right? This is the cool part for me. When I was reading this is when I was like, wow, this is so dope. Jesus himself, the man that knew no sin, the man that came down here and sacrificed himself for us, he went and he had to seek counsel from men that weren't even greater than him, but he sought counsel from men. Now, if Jesus is seeking counsel, then what about us? What are we to do? Who are we to talk to? Who are we to be around with? So then again, I was just thinking, I was like, that's amazing. If Jesus is asking for help, in a sense, if he's talking to them, they're probably talking about the mission, his mission here on earth, and then the vision looking forward on how long he had and what he had to do and what he had to go through. Maybe they knew the plans, maybe they didn't. But whatever they were talking about, they weren't just lollygagging in that sense. So it's amazing to me that us men nowadays are afraid to ask for help, that you are afraid to ask for help, in the sense that by you asking for help, it sometimes somehow kills your identity as a man, when in actuality, society is completely wrong. Everything that we've been taught growing up is completely wrong, is that the more we ask for help. Now, granted, I'm going to preface this by saying, if you're not helping yourself right now and you're going to ask for help because you don't want to do the hard work, that's not how this works. You have to be willing to do the hard work. You have to be willing to go through the grind before you can go out there and say, hey, I need help, right? Please be putting in the work before you say, hey, I can't do this. At least try, okay? So first things first, when asking for help, you have to acknowledge that whatever you're going through, you need help with. Second thing, you need to get help. And then third thing, build an inner council of loyal, trusted men. So this is what it looks like. Okay. So for me, when I was struggling with my addictions, right? I don't know if y'all know, but I had a bad pornography addiction, right? So first things I had to do was I had to acknowledge, hey, look, I need some help. I'm addicted to porn. I'm watching it all the time. I'm thinking about it all the time. I need some help, right? Second thing I had to do is I had to go get help. I literally went, I said, hey, look, I need some help. I'm addicted to this. I'm thinking about it all the time. It's distracting me. I can't even focus on my work. I can't get shit done. So third thing I did is I had men in my church and outside world that I talked to about it. I said, hey, look, I need you to help keep me accountable. I'll check in with you. I'll do whatever I have to do. And with that being said, it's I'm going to say a lot better, but I'm completely under control when it comes to that stuff, right? There's things that I have to do now that I have to put in place to help me. But if I never would have asked for help, then where would I be as a man? I probably wouldn't be a best-selling author, a 2-time best-selling author. I wouldn't be able to coach other men. I wouldn't have started this podcast. I wouldn't be able to write blogs for some of the largest publications in the world, like Addicted to Success, Forbes, Good Men Project. I wouldn't be able to do that. So in for you right now, I want to say for you is, what is asking for help stopping you from doing? Is it just a false belief in your head that you need to go through this alone? Have you been working effortlessly and tirelessly to try to go through whatever you're going through when you know that, hey, there's a person out there that's willing to help you? There's people surrounding you right now willing to say, hey, look, just raise your hand and say you need help and we'll come to you. If you're not willing to do that, my friend, life is going to be hard. You're not meant to go through this alone. You're not meant to go through life alone. Some of the most amazing people that I know in special operations in the military, the Rangers and Special Forces guys, they are a team. Everyone has a part to play on that team, but when someone is struggling, they all come together and they help that man out. And in the same sense, you need to build that tight-knit community of special men around you, men of loyalty and men of trust, men of value, men of discipline and commitment that are going to be there for you regardless. So in a sense, men, The whole idea that asking for help is anti-man. Asking for help when you're already helping yourself is the best thing you can do. Put that ego and that pride aside and go ahead and ask for help, because you don't know that the answer to your questions, that the one person could ask you the right questions or could unlock what it needs to be unlocked for you to flourish in your life. That's what happened for me. And that's why now I'm a 2-time best-selling author. I am a podcaster, and I do so many other things, write for publications. There's so many things that I do because I ask for help, not only with my addiction to pornography, but there's other areas of my life that I've been able to ask for help. I raised my hand. Sometimes I paid for the help. Sometimes I haven't. But in the sense of, because I've raised my hand, I've learned so much, I've grown so much, and now I'm able to help other people grow as well. So men, let me tell you that on your journey, asking for help, that ego and pride will stop you from learning, will stop you from becoming the full 1% man that you can become. So for you, acknowledge that you need help, get the help, build that loyal council of men, and I'm excited to see the man that you become because you asked for help. Hey, my friend, that's a wrap. But hey, before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave us a review, and let us know how much you love this episode. And then also go to coachbn.com right now for more tools and resources. And make sure you pick up your free 7 Secrets to a High Performance Morning, because you're totally going to love it. All right, until next time. Later, my friend.